kill it as managers here. So I'm enjoying the first class. I like having you all here. Let's get right into day two. So what we're going to go over today: importance of early leads, personally and as a team, personal production as a van driver, hop outs, quick hits, tees with newer reps, territory delegation, reading and working game plans, and then things to do on the van ride back to the office. Okay. So first, I would like to talk about the importance of early leads. So first, personally, I went over this a little bit yesterday. My goal was always on that first lap to get my 4. People knew that I did not come back to the office with less than 4 ever. And they knew that I would get 4, but they also knew that I'd probably help somebody pull 2. But personally, I would say early leads are just huge for you. And when I show you here some tips on personal production as a manager, I'll show you how you can get them every day, really quick, really easy. And it's just an everyday thing. That's part of your schedule. You go out there, you drop everybody off, you get your 4, and then you check in, you make sure everything else is running good. If everything is, then you go get 4 more. If not, then you help out whoever you got to help. So definitely always get your leads early. Make it a routine, right? Now, importance of early leads in a car ride. That's crucial. And the biggest and easiest way to get early leads is to get to the field early, right? Get them out there early. Gives them the most opportunity to get early leads. Somebody help me out. What do you think is important about your team getting early leads? What are some important things?
It kind of just starts that momentum off on the day, or even if someone else is getting nothing, they're like that much more aware of okay, there are leads here.
Beautiful. Anything else?
It's big for morale.
Yeah.
On the road, at the beginning of the day, not getting anything, by lunch, everyone's gonna be like, oh.
Right.
You get those couple leads in the morning. If you get 4 in the morning, everyone's like, all right,
right.
Let's get out of lunch quick.
Right. Anything else?
When you're sitting down at lunch, man, and you got no leads.
Yep. It sucks.
Not good.
Right.
So when you have a lead or two before lunch, it's like, well, I'm going to end the day with 6, 7, or 8.
Right. And here's the thing is, so I like everything you guys said. Somebody said the team would be aware, right? So even if one guy is struggling, if you got the team out there early and the team has leads, they are going to eat lunch quick, right? Mm-hmm. And then regardless of if that guy with no leads right at that moment, he's going to get out there earlier, even if he doesn't want to or is down a little bit, which is going to make him pitch earlier. And it's all as simple as that. Just getting his leads early, the confidence up. So early leads, people, you can look at it a couple of ways. Some people may let off the gas, right? And if they get 4 in the first lap, right? And your teammate, but that's in my experience, that's never really the case here in this job. In my experience in this job, whenever people have early leads, they end with way more. The best reps can, and we'll talk about this with Lorenzo, what he did earlier this week, but the best reps can pull out all their leads at the end of the day. They know that they just got to keep talking to people. But with newer reps and newer people, early leads, just keep that momentum, get that momentum going, like John said. Think about a day where you had early leads. Have you guys ever had knocked your first door and got it? That's something I would try to do every day. And I was had a pretty high percentage. I was known for that. And, that feels awesome, right? It's just like, boop, that one's done. And then it's like one more. But early leads are important for everything. It eliminates you having to try to bring morale back up at lunch, right? And it's just makes the day go by smoothly. All right, so personal production. This is huge because this is if you look at kind of reps production on a line graph, they're just a marketer, and then they're a van driver. They're a new marketer. They may be here for a month, then they become a van driver, and their personal production goes down a little bit, right? Naturally, happens to every single person because they're taken out of the field. You're not talking to people. talking to as many people, and you have more responsibilities, right? So when this happened to me, when I started driving the van for power, I wasn't just going to sit there and accept it, right? So I thought of a creative solution was I have to really figure out how to use my tools to my advantage, having the van, working tees a little bit differently. And this is where I wanted to kind of interject and tell the moral story of the day about creative problem solving. Okay. So I got a little story for you. 1 second. Let me pour my coffee. It's early. All right. So this story is about a farmer, right? The farmer didn't have a lot of money, and he leased his property from this guy that owned a bunch of land, this rich guy. And it was a really bad year, and there wasn't any rain, big drought. The farmer wasn't able to grow crops and make money, wasn't able to afford the lease. So the leaseholder who owned the land came to the farmer and was just going to kill him and then re-rent out the land, and because he wasn't paying. But when he got there, he noticed that the farmer had the most beautiful daughter, right? And so the leaseholder said, "Look, I'll make a deal with you." The farmers. They were standing on a path that was a pebble-strewn path. There's pebbles of all different colors on the path, and the leaseholder said to the farmer, "I'm going to put a black and a white pebble into my bag here. You pull one out. You pull the white one out. Your lease is paid off for the year. You're good. You pull the black one out. I take your daughter and I kill you." And he looked at his daughter. The farmer looked at his daughter and said, what am I supposed to do? And she was like, "Do it. You have to try." Right. So the leaseholder, and his daughter was not only beautiful, she was like super smart. Right. And so she told her father to take the offer. Right. And she was watching the leaseholder, and the leaseholder, when he put the pebbles in the bag, she noticed that they were both black. So he was just going to do them dirty. Right. And so the leaseholder then said, "Okay, the pebbles are in the bag." The beautiful girl knows this in the back of her head, right? And he goes, "It's time to pull a pebble." And the daughter says, "No, let me, Dad, let me do it." And when she reaches in, she grabs a pebble and fumbles it and drops it. And he's like, "No, we have to do it again." And she's like, No, well, just look in the bag and you'll see which one I didn't pick." You get it? So the only one that could have fell was the white one, right? So the moral of that story is it doesn't always have to be a battle, right? When she saw that leaseholder put the two black pebbles in the bag, she was like, "No, I saw you cheated." What would that have done, right?
Going back to 50.
He would have gone, you know what I mean? Like, so instead, she thought about it, with calm mind rather than battling, and was like, how could I get what I want out of this situation without causing a battle or without dying? So that's kind of where my thought was when I was losing personal production in the field. I was like, I got to think of a creative solution to this. So I did it for a long, long time, and I found out how I actually prefer to run a van ride when it comes to personal production. So first, the big one is hop outs. Do you guys do hop outs personally as van drivers? Don't be scared.
I have no idea.
How about you, Lorenzo?
I have like once or twice.
I'm going to tell you to do hop outs, okay? When you're by yourself. And this is what. I'm not telling you to. So I'm telling you to do hop outs if you can work fast and productive. That's the key to hop outs. So I'll tell you where I do hop outs. And in some of my game plans, I'll show you too. Hop outs, if you have an older neighborhood. And on these game plans, I have managers' territories on here. Sometimes they're just big areas with older houses, right? When I was talking about the early leads, those used to be my favorite neighborhoods. One, because I have the van, I can get to those qualified talk tos. So remember the garden theory, right? You're getting second lap caliber talk tos in the first lap. Why? Because you're going to the houses with car. I used to just go to houses with cars on. Didn't matter what their stuff looked like, right? But if they did have a battery roof window, it was even better, you know. But I would find a street where there's cars on because I don't care what their stuff looks like. I just need talk tos, right? And it's really easy. So I would keep my red sheet, my pad, right next to me on a little clipboard, like this size clipboard. When I turn down a street, I'd write the name of the street, and then I just go. And then when I talk to somebody, when I get back, I'd write that on my red sheet. So you don't have to do anything if you don't talk to anybody. Why do I got to write down their house number and know their house number if I didn't talk to anybody? Because then on the second lap, when I'm going there, I'm like, okay, these are just everybody not to go to, right? Does that make sense? And then you're getting, instead of maybe 1 in every 10 houses you not talk to, sometimes one, you guys know, in the first lap, sometimes 1 in every 30 houses is a talk to 1 in every 3 with cars home during the day, right? And that's how, as a manager, you just expedite your day with the van because you're just eliminating all that walking, right? So you could get a full day's worth of talk tos with the van if you're moving fast, right? So it's going to take some practice, but you got to be ready. You can't, and in being an MIT, you should be at the point where you can pitch somebody who popped up behind you and scared you, and you should just be able to start pitching them, right? So you can't be thinking about this or that or looking at the house and this is how I would do it, right? So I would pull down a street, I would write the name of the street on my red sheet, and then I would find, you can look right down the street, find an area where there's like 2 or 3 cars home, right? I would pull up to the middle of that like little area, leave the car running, hop out to hit them all, hop right back in, boom, next little area. You know what I mean? And I could get, I promise you, I know it. I used to do it all the time. In my first 2.5 hours in that first lap, I would get 30 talk tos. Because you have a van. I mean, you've gas. That thing goes fast. You know what I mean? But it doesn't, hop outs do not work when you're lollygagging. When you pull up to a house and you look at it. What street am I on? Where's my pen? All right. Hold on. What street was it? Oh, is it roof? They're upgraded. No, I'll try. No, you're boop. Yo. No, okay, back, boop, boop, boop. You know, and you, if your goal when you're doing that is speed, the leads will just show up. You're like, your goal, keep the conscious goal as gotta be fast, gotta be fast, gotta be fast. Don't keep your goal as need leads. Keep it gotta be fast, because you guys already know how to pitch. You guys already know how to rebuttal and write leads. Your goal is going to be fast, is going to create more talk tos, is going to create more leads. And the other big thing about personal early leads is, what is the one thing I forgot to say? Can anybody guess this? About personal early leads every day.
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence, but what do you look like to the team? A beast.
Team leader, yeah.
You have a van. You should have 4 before anybody in your van every day. And then they're not like, why is this guy a manager? They're like, you know, he's dropping everybody off and he's got 4 every day before me. What is he doing? You know what I mean? And this is a good point to talk about this a little bit is you guys are being taught this because you are going to be managers, right? Those guys never should work like this, ever. This is something when you're by yourself. And those guys should never know you do hop outs like this, because guess what? Then you're going to get friendly with somebody who's going to be like, hey, man, let's just do hop outs. Hop outs don't work with 2 people. How would that work? What, are you going to sit there and wait for them? You know what I mean? Like,
would you like refrain from doing that if you have a shadow?
yes. Yep. So good point. It's only when you're by yourself. That would never want to do that.
Right.
The guys shouldn't even know what a hop out is. The guys should always think you're working the 2-lap system. Always. And the reason why is because if you don't do it, then they're going to be like, why should I do it? but they're not ready yet to understand that you're losing pitch time. Therefore, you should be able to work things a little bit differently to kind of compensate for that, right? So it's not hiding stuff from them. Let them earn it like you earned it. You know what I mean? That's why you're here. So yes, it's something. Hop outs are definitely something you only want to do by yourself. Never when somebody's shadowing you. And you know what's a good thing to do is if you have plans to shadow somebody or have somebody shadow you, like a new rep for the day who's like almost on the verge of being out there on their own, drop them off somewhere for an hour by themselves. Throw them to the wolves. Be like, just an hour. This is what happened to me. My manager did this to me, and I got to leave. And I was like fumbling around, trying to call him. I was like, "You really want it?" Like, you know, like. And I got the lead, and it made me so confident. But just an hour. Let them know it's just an hour. Hey, look, I'm going to put you out here for an hour by yourself. See how you do. Go to hot house, get 3. Then you have them the rest of the day. You know what I mean? Like, if you can do that and just get yours quick, you're making sure that you're not losing money. Basically, that's the big thing. You're not losing money by driving people around. So, and the great thing is you don't have to. You can actually make more, a lot more, not just on van ride bonuses, but in personal production. And I want you to know that is normal. So again, new marketer, pretty good. If it's Tyler, he likes, but you know, and then you're really good. Now you're a top performer, and then you're running a van, but then it comes down here. And then a lot of people just stay here, and kind of those van bonuses just kind of compensate for that lost personal production. But why? When you can just work smart and everything just, your money, everything just keeps going up, right? Cool. So any questions on hot outs?
Just to clarify too, usually these are older neighborhoods,
Right.
things of that nature, right? Where there's not as much, or there's not as much need because there's a lot of updates. Right. Like the neighborhoods that are not efficient to really walk. That's when the hop outs take place.
Man, that's
right?
a good point.
It's like 40 or 1940s, 1950s neighborhoods where every 15 houses you see all updated. The 16th one is not. Or you'll see on his game plans, there's these little streets, right? It has to be specific map too. Some maps, hop outs on it don't really work that well,
Right.
but it'll have specific game plans on the maps where it'll be like these little like cul-de-sacs off a main road, right? Where there's like 20 houses on there. No one ever hits those.
Those are mine.
Right? So when you're there, those are the best. Those are the best.
Quick hits.
And like you said, you still are working a 2-lap system, all right? Because when you do those hop outs, you're still going back in the afternoon. You're sitting all the houses that you didn't hit the first time, right?
Right.
You're just making it more efficient. Exactly. Your first time around. So when later in the afternoon, you don't have to worry about getting leads. You can really focus on your mentee or whatever it is that you want to focus on.
So thank you for bringing that up, because that's really a huge point to make. So there are plenty of situations where it does not make sense to do hop outs, and that's when basically you can pitch every single house, like he just said. Builder grade neighborhoods, I'm not going to do hop outs. You know, it is actually, even if there's not many cars owned, if it's a builder grade and every house needs it, it's actually more efficient to just work that neighborhood, right? So I would say anything 1990 and newer, you know, that's probably a workable tee that you want to walk. Anything a little bit older or more hop outs. And like you said, and we're going to get into game plans here today. But on the game plans, I have area for managers territories, and you'll see the word hop outs. I mark them with a star, hop outs. And it's important to know that that's for you. And those neighborhoods are awesome too, because typically when you work those older neighborhoods, like the leads you get, the demo rate is higher. But it sometimes takes just a lot of walking to kind of get to that lead, you know? Cool. So quick hits, what Brandon just touched on a little bit. These are my favorite. And like he said, little streets where you can't really put somebody for that long are areas that you're going to work. Why do you think quick hits are good for managers to hit? A couple reasons.
It's not pressured and you can work it quick and efficiently.
That's it. And I'll add a couple things to that. But number one, it's definitely not pressured, right? Other companies aren't smart enough to just go hit these little streets. They're like, you know, why would I go there for 20 minutes, you know? And normally because they have guys with them, and it just doesn't make sense unless you're a van driver and you have your van. So it definitely doesn't get pressured. They don't hear the pitch, right? You know, number two, you can work it quickly. Number three is so even a smaller street, I can remember so many times, maybe 9 houses in a little cul-de-sac, right? First lap, I get 1. That second lap, I go back. Everybody knows everybody there when there's 9 houses.
Mm-hmm.
I know if I get 1 in one of those little quick hits, I'm going back in the evening. If I can talk to 3 of them, chances are I'm going to get at least 2 of them. And there's been chances where I've signed up half of a cul-de-sac, like 4 out of 8 houses, and it's during both laps. So, and you can, the same point I made about how about the same thing about quick hits. If you have a lot of quick hits that are on your list, you can't go to 1, get out slow, 1 year of these houses, and then you got to get out, knock all the houses, get in, get to the next one, right? Not speed to the next one, but get to the man fast, be efficient, right? And a quick hit, some of these game plans have just managers tees for the day, just 7 quick hits, right? You got to be to that one. Next one, you already know where you're going, and be efficient. Remember, your goal should be fast, not leads. As a manager in the first part of the day, just fast. And that was always my goal in the field too, as a marketer. And it's always going to produce more, right? Cut yards, talk to more people, walk fast, because we all know the same pitch, right? Cool. So quick hits. Any questions on quick hits? All right. So tees with newer reps kind of goes along with territory delegation, but I put it here for personal production for a couple reasons. So a couple things about townhomes and condos, right? Everybody loves them, right? Why does everybody love townhomes and condos?
It's fast.
Fast in what sense?
You're walking like 3 feet to the next door.
On doors.
Right. It's as simple as it is. You guys see a theme here. It's amount of talk tos you can get is really the determinant. Not are they townhomes, not are they condos, right? So if you have a car, I mean, isn't essentially every neighborhood a townhome neighborhood to you if you're doing hop-outs? Because it's fast, right? So look at it like that. But tees with newer reps. So if you have somebody shadowing you, when somebody's shadowing me, I never take them in townhomes ever, because then they will think it was the townhomes is the reason why you did good, and then they will think the only place they can get leads is in townhomes, because for some reason people who buy townhomes just apparently sign up for estimates, right? No, it's not the case. So although that's the case, when somebody's shadowing me, I won't go to townhomes. I may, if somebody's struggling, work my first part of that day in a townhome tee with them. Personally, get some early leads, also get them back on track, right? So that's territory delegation, right? So there's also, you see how there's this little drop in personal production when you're a van driver? Happens with new people too. So be aware, Tyler. Sometimes new people come out of training way up here, right? But then they start to trickle down. Any idea why you think that is?
Get comfortable. Bad habits.
Bad habits, get comfortable.
Straying away from the binder.
Right. Yeah, right. So that's exactly the answer I'm looking for, is that they think they know better now, right? They've been here 3 months. They know better. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it
Yeah,
my
they're cowboying. They're cowboying. They're not bindering.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, if you think you know better in a couple months being here, that's insane, you know? So, like, give everybody the benefit of the doubt. The point I'm trying to make is those people, be aware of that, right? New people come in on fire and then may go down a little bit. That second word in the acronym thing I did, aware, be aware of that, catch it. The next day you're going out to a townhome tee or something quick to get early, like 2 early leads for you and that other rep, then go do your thing. And that's as easy as getting them back on track. And the first step is being aware. Cool. So territory delegation. I hate to say it like this, but there's really no other way to put it. the people that deserve it, give them some really juicy stuff. Not necessarily the people that pull the most leads, the people that deserve it. The people that don't take time out of your day or other people's days. The people that do take what your constructive criticism and want to get better. The hard workers, because the hard workers is all we need. And then you can lead them to success from there. Again, not always your biggest lead pullers. Your biggest lead pullers, you'll have reps that you can put anywhere. You know what I mean? And those are the best. I mean, Brandon was one of them. I would literally put Brandon anywhere. He could walk out of the office and come back with 5 or 6 leads. And I know there's people like that in our office and your guys' office too. But again, the people that deserve it, it's not necessarily the highest producer. It's a person with the right mentality, right? All right. So we're going to take about 10 minutes to do this little quiz recap from last week, but I want to go over something over here. You see this MIT MVP contest? So this is going to go on through till next Tuesday. And this is going to be how it works. It's a point system. So class attended, you get 1 point. That's why these two are here. So we got, each of you get a point. So I will specifically ask questions throughout classes. Those are 1 point. Random classroom give outs, those points vary. Random field give outs, those points vary. I meant to put quizzes and final exams. So first, the prize, you're going to get the MIT MVP certificate and $100 cash from this guy, not me. And I have actually some random field give outs to do. So first, Lorenzo, I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to have you talk about it. How your day went New Year's Eve after our first class.
New Year's Eve. Oh, after our first class.
Buzzer beater day, right?
Yeah, it was. We definitely started slow, and it was kind of good too because even though we started slow, we had like 2 guys on the board. Both had like 1 by lunch, and they were even just with the 2. They were kind of like discouraged, like it's New Year's Eve and resistance is high and the talk tos. And I literally just kind of rebutted with the training I had that morning saying, you know, listen, we're expected to be at 0 to 2. And yes, it is a higher resistance day, but like you guys are already on the board. Like you have so much more to look forward to. And I broke down, like, these are the people you're dealing with right now, work from homes and this and that, whatever. Like literally just identified that to them to where like, you know, it was really good. Like they all just like grasp it and like, we're like, all right, I'm ready to get back out there, you know, because I was like, we still have an early day lead. Like, we're already on the board. Everybody else was killing it too. Like, let's go. And the second half, I mean, still started slow, but like once it hit like 5, I don't know, we pulled out like another 8 or 9 leads, like in like 30 minutes, you know? And so I felt super good about it, just as like I feel like just even that little bit of the training, I was like now having that new information, you know, I even just attacked it differently and was able to get their confidence or their mindset back in the right place. And was like, just trust it. Like people are gonna, you know, start coming home, this and that, whatever. And then literally it was just like bam, bam. And it's like once one got 1, the other one got 1. Then he got 2, then someone else got 2. And then it was just like literally we were at fucking 0 all day, and then all of a sudden like 2 guys left for 4 spots, you know. It was,
that brings me back to the good old days of when stuff like that would happen. It's such a success, and something I want to point out there, you guys, is that's the use of that garden theory. You should be able to spit that back to your reps. It is something that we don't teach in training, but we're gonna incorporate that in the next training, and the whole company's gonna get it here next week so that you guys can reiterate it, why we do the 2-lap system rather than, hey, let's work the same neighborhood twice, you know, because no, that's not what it is. It's it's literally there to make you more productive, and it makes sense, right? Doesn't it make sense, Lorenzo?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
And you were able to,
self
yeah, you were able to make it make sense to them, right?
right.
Yeah. So awesome job, man. And so that is a advanced managerial move. Is not giving up.
Greg, one more shout out too. And then he came back yesterday and got his first van bonus using the same exact system.
Yes. Oh wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that either. So it's working, man. You're taking the training, and you're doing everything you need to be doing. So Lorenzo, on the buzzer beater day, I was going to give you 2, and on the van bonus day, I'm going to give you 1. Very good job. Round of applause, Lorenzo.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Now Tyler, you might not know this. Lorenzo had one hell of a month. It was his first full month. He broke the record for estimates in the company with 25 estimates. Volume, you have any idea?
127.8. I was $200 behind Jared.
Like 130K in volume. What would you say is your average leads a day?
Average 6.
6. And do you remember the day, same day, New Year's Eve, short day? I put out the bonus for you too. The threshold was 1 less. Tyler texted me at 2 p.m. I'm on 6. I got 3 same days. And two of them demoed.
Yep.
And Tyler, really great job. Tyler, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's working for you?
Really relate with the homeowner, and then I really send it home at the end.
What do you mean?
I focus so much at the end of the conversation because I want them to remember me.
Right.
And that's why I get so many estimates.
Right.
And like it sounds a little corny, but what I do is when I hand them that card, obviously I go through, I explain everything on the card as you do, but I say, and don't lose this card. When we swing by, make sure you give it to whoever comes by, and they'll know to take that 15% off your estimate, and it'll save you that money. If you lose the card, then it might be a little tricky, and that gets them like, okay,
Well,
and they're like this, they're like this.
So you know what? Actually, how you just said that to me, it made me feel like you cared about me saving money. Didn't you get that from him?
I get thank yous.
It's not like a BS thing. So you know what I mean? I wonder how many reps out in the field are doing that, you know? Be like, look, man, I know, you know, I really want you to don't lose this because this is going to be your 15%. They can't give it to you if you lose it.
I've been telling the guys on my ride, which is Gary's ride, to do it.
Right.
And Carl does it.
Right.
And he's not a huge lead getter, but he's getting estimates now.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
he might get 4 leads, but he'll get 2 estimates out of it. Wow. And so he's like, dude, it works. And I'm like, I know. And then that humanizes you too. And it opens the door to be like, what do you do the rest of the day?
Yeah, we're gonna have you do what you just did for the class.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I like that.
Yes, real
Like a
quick.
lot.
Yeah. Cool. Good job.
Say it with that same tone though. Or it won't work.
Right. No.
No,
Like hold it with 2 hands.
Yep.
That makes it seem like it's so valuable when you hold.
Because I explain it, and I'm like, just don't lose
Right.
it.
So Lorenzo, you can't see him, Lorenzo, but his body language, he's like this, holding it like this.
Yeah, I just told Zach, I was like, I'm gonna steal that like that, because even I told my guys, and like even one day when I broke out the office, like I told the whole office, I'm like, the difference of my first month to my second month was the emphasis on the button up. You know, just meeting with Zach and Ryan, like, what's going on? Why am I not getting as many demos? Like, I'm getting leads, this and that, and just realized a lot of it was like when I first started, I was just excited to get a lead,
Right.
and like I was sketchy around the button up, like, oh yeah, this is the time. We look forward to seeing you, whatever, say the basics and give them the card.
All of his estimates that were canceling were saying bad time. That's how I knew that he wasn't emphasizing the time part in the button.
Yeah. So now it was like I had like where I spend more time on the button up than I do like having to get their information for the pad, because I've already made them relax and chill. But the button up, you know, just really emphasize that, like, you know, again, like, thank you so much for seeing us, because, you know, we're in the neighborhood, you're saving us time, and tell them their discount they're getting. And I'm just like, you know, eventually you're gonna have to get it done. So at least have it in your back pocket. You know, you're gonna want to know, at least for the future, and just really emphasize that, like, to the point where I'm getting them to tell me, like, yeah, you're right. Like, and they become so much more receptive. And, you know, tell your husband as well, like, blah, blah, blah. It's just this. And like, just really kind of dial in on that. I'm like, you know, telling the guys, just take more time on the button up. because literally it was like my demo rate was absolute shit, and then all of a sudden it was like
19.
during Christmas I'm getting 19, and like
Wow.
that, you know, it was just I went from
Well, that's
6.
where you need to be. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up because this is another trend that you'll see in guys, right? First, typically with new reps that are pretty good, they'll learn how to get leads, right? But then it doesn't necessarily reflect on the estimate percentage, right? So like, yeah, their leads might be here, but estimate percentage isn't the best, right? So that paycheck is what's directly going to affect their attitude every day, right?
Mhm.
It's just how it is. So if you notice, be aware, again, that's why it's that second word on the acronym, be aware of your team's numbers. Because if they're getting leads, that feels great, but if they're not getting demos, then you gotta, like you just said, Lorenzo, focus on the demo, on the button up. Because like our numbers show right now, out of 15 leads, you know, it's like 2.5 across the room, which trying to get up as a whole. But if I'm telling you, if I wrote 15 leads, I'm telling you at least 7 of them are going out. And not because I'm better, just because I've sold the products. I know I'm the expert, you know. But a lot of what you said, Lorenzo, like, you know, hey, just again, don't freak out. We're in the neighborhood. We're not expecting you to buy anything, just a free estimate. But then Tyler's, you know, but don't lose this. That's all it takes, right?
Yeah.
So being aware of reps, how much money they're making, because you know how much they make based off of their numbers. And, you know, if somebody has a week where they had 30 leads, they feel really great that week, but then they come in Monday and they only had 3 down. You know what? That crushes them because all weekend they're like, yeah, I'm getting this money. Like, whoa, I got 30. But then 3 demoed. That is a conversation you need to have, dude. Don't worry. This is normal. You tell them this is normal. You got the hard part done, the 30 leads.
Yep.
Now I'm going to give you some pointers on how to turn those 3 estimates out of the 30 leads into 8, 9, 10. Okay. So today I want you to do exactly what you did yesterday, except focus on the button up. Just say this little line. And then you know what that does for you? You might be like, what does it effing do for me? What it does for you is they're making more money. They come in every day with a good attitude. The same way early leads kind of prevent, you know, bad, you know, habits and people from not, you know, skunking all day long and getting in that 0 kind of, you know, if you have 0 by 4 kind of thing, some people just shut off.
I'm going to say one thing about early leads.
Yeah.
If you ever look, or I mean, we would have to tell you because you wouldn't be able to see. But typically, the round that gets the first lead always is the most successful of the day. That's typically how it always is. You just look at what ride got the first lead, then you fast forward till 7 o'clock, and that ride almost always has the most leads.
Yeah.
And the second reason to that is a lot of times after the meeting, people are ready to go. If there's too much time from the meeting till you pitch, energy goes like this.
Right.
Right. So it's
like time when it's same as time as when you set an estimate out, right? It's like impulse goes like this, their mood goes like this, and they get in the habit of sitting in the car, and then they're sitting in the car, you know, and then that's the simple, like the one thing that if I could have you all take away one thing from here, it would be to leave the office, go to your area, take a break, and follow the 2-lap system. That's more valuable than those things, which are probably the easiest to remember and do, are the most valuable that you can take from this class. Everything else is extra, you know, but I still want you to do it, and it's going to make you more successful. But those are the things, and that will help your time management and everything. It is already 9:15. We're going to get into this reading and working game plans next time. I do want to talk about the van ride back to the office. We talked about van rides last week, but the van ride back to the office. So what do you guys do now? Let's say, I mean, is there a pattern or is it different every day? What's the van ride back to the office like for you now? Curious.
I ask my strugglers what happened. And then they usually will have, they'll say it's either T, and then I'll say, okay, so like what kind of talk tos were you having? And then they'll either say, I wasn't having talk tos, or they'll say, I was having talk tos, but I was getting this rebuttal. I'm like, okay, what were you rebuttaling?
Say they weren't getting talked to. How do you answer that?
Did you take res? Did you go back? So that's number one
You
thing.
know what I would get? Well, exactly that. No, but how I used to say I'm not getting talked tos was would be walk faster.
PPA, yeah.
Walk faster.
I've actually overheard quiet knockers too. Big problem.
Oh, wow, what a good point.
My first knock is, my second knock is,
I
I want to
haven't
make sure you heard me.
I've been doing this for so long, and it hasn't been till last year in Rhode Island when I realized that people knock different, right? But I realized it, and it's not only people knock different. People will intentionally knock soft when they're not confident. They don't. It's like they don't want to talk to people, right? But that's with new reps who've never done this before. That's a big hurdle, right? Just getting over the fear of going up to somebody's house and knocking. So if they're now able to do that in front of you when they're alone, they're probably still like,
It's a bit louder.
they see like NRA bumper sticker and a pickup truck. You know what I mean? But yeah, so very good point. I'll tell a quick story on that too. So I had this girl, Leilani, in Rhode Island. She was broke down on the side of the road one day, and I helped jump her car, right? And I recruited her, and she was the best marketer I've ever trained, I've ever had. I wish she would move down here, but her and her girlfriend live somewhere up there and are moving. I tried, but she did not give a fuck, right? I saw with my own eyes a rep go up to a house, the worst seal failure in these windows, 2 cars home. He knocked pretty loud, waited, wrong, knocked again, valid, pretty loud, right? And Leilani was waiting on the corner for him because they were pitching together to kind of see. And he walked back, and she was like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm going back." Bonk, bonk. Nobody answers. Goes around. I'm not joking. To this side door. Bonk, bonk. They come out like something's wrong, and she was like, "Hi," and set him right there, and set him. And the other marker was like, "What?" So I'm not saying do that, but what I'm saying is try to have that, because once you get to a certain point as a marketer, you are like, yes, I want that house, right? Try to understand that when you're new, or think back to when you were new, it's oftentimes like, yeah, I know they need it, but like I'm a little bit nervous, I might not quite. So like, be aware. How many times have I said that? Be aware of that. That might be a reason. Good point. Cool. So van ride back to the office though. This is what I would suggest to do. This is what I always used to do. All right, everybody, let's read off our red sheets. Tyler, how many talk tos? That's really the only number that matters, right? That's the only number that matters, because that's something that they can control. You can't control for them. Why? Walking faster, right? They're pigs. How many talk? If they have under 20 talk tos on a 2-lap system during the day, how? You know what I mean? And if you read off your red sheets, you can do this. One, you ask how many talk tos they had and how many leads set, right? What does that do? First, you're giving people that did really good the chance to feel good, right? Because they deserve it. A little shout out. Damn, you did. Yeah, you talked to 40 people at 8. Oh, whatever that 1 out of every 4 you said, that's crazy, man. Those are crazy numbers, right? And then you know that if they only have under 20 talk tos, like you got to walk faster. You got to be with that guy tomorrow to see what the issue is. And then when you do this every day, you'll see that talk tos, there's only going to be an acceptable amount, and it'll be like between 30 and 50, right? And then you'll see that every day when they come back with that amount of talk tos, they're just going to come back with leads. That's the number one thing why people don't do good, why people skunk, is because they don't talk to enough people. And so I would always go over our red sheets. I would go over talk tos, how many leads on the day, and then just have a good ride back, talk about wherever. But that is for you and also them, but mainly for you to know, all right, tomorrow I need to help whoever. If they have, so what does this tell you about a rep? I'm asking both of you, because I haven't heard much from you. What does this tell? What do these kind of numbers tell you about a rep? 40. What do you got to work on with that rep?
It probably means they're not pushing them enough.
What did you say?
They're not getting to like 5 no's.
They're probably just like collecting like walk or lay downs. Like
Right now, the first thing Yes, you're absolutely right. It's probably not rebuttaling, but the first thing I would ask this person to do, pitch me.
Mhm.
Could be just his pitch is just turning people off. You know what I
That's
mean?
easy to fix.
But it's really easy to fix. If that sounds good, you got to get some more. You got to work on your rebuttals with it, and you got to give them just how they get over the confidence barrier of knocking on a door. You get to the level of being able to rebuttal confidently, right? So first you learn the pitch, then you get lay downs, then you learn the pitch and you try a rebuttal, but then you learn the pitch and then it's a game and you're like, no, I already know what you're going to say and I'm going to still say you know what I mean? Like it's fun. So there's levels to it though. And it's a little nerve wracking when you're new, when somebody says no to in your head, be like, I know you said, but no, but you know what I mean? But like, you got to make sure they're doing it in front of you. That's a good way to transfer it to them doing it themselves, is because if they do it in front of you and see that it works, then they're going to do it themselves, right?
Real quick on that. If they have that many talk tos, right, and they pitch you and they sound good, the next two metrics you're going to want to track is how many soft yeses they have and how many not interested they have, right?
Probably not identified.
When they break that down and they have a lot of not interested and not many soft yeses, it means one of two things. It means one, the homeowner didn't trust them enough. Right? When someone doesn't trust you, they're not going to give you soft yeses. Right now, I'm not interested, right? Or two, they're just not recognizing soft yeses. And that is the big one. That's usually what happens. This is what a lot of people, homeowners says. They go, I'm not interested. And then selective hearing, the marketer shuts their ears off and they go, because my kids are in college and I can't afford anything. Well, that went from a not interested to now a soft. That's a soft yes.
Yep.
That's a close all day. You're closing, moving forward, you're good, right? But a lot of marketers, especially the newer ones, the people that you will be mentoring, won't understand that. So simply by looking at numbers, right? If they have a lot of non-interested and not a lot of soft yeses, it's one of those two. If they have a lot of soft yeses and they don't have a lot of non-interested, that's good. It means they're real close. That's the first adjustment you'll see. And now it's like, okay, now I just got to get them to close. They're not assumptive enough with information closed.
That's one, and that's one that's very, very common, is that they are scared to say today or tomorrow. Instead, they're like, are you interested? It's like, no, I'm not interested in anything you have, you know. But today or tomorrow, I guess I have to pick one, you know. And it's as easy as that. So what Brandon just said is so big, and I'm actually going to be doing a meeting with all the marketers on this. No soft yes, closing sign, all the same things. They really are, and it's all about how you look at it. So you could take so not right now after you pitch, right? That's a closing sign. That's the best. Cool. I'm not the one doing the estimate. I'm not the one doing the estimate, but you know, we're right down the road. Do you think later today will work or tomorrow will work better for you?
People love when you say, okay, sounds like right now is real busy for you. Let's just find a time where you have a little bit more.
Yeah, that's fire.
People love that.
Because that's fire.
Good.
Because it acknowledges it.
Lowers resistance.
And you're at least going to be able to get like at least come back this time, or you
I'm
know,
getting my kid right now. Okay, I'll swing back in 20 minutes.
it's all about how you words are how you take it, right? Not interested. That's fine. Look, we have people that come out as late as 7, you know, for people that work during the day and the weekend. I mean, would in the evening or the weekend be better for you? That's what I say. Not interested sometimes, and they're just like, yeah, maybe the weekend. Okay. You know?
Sure. I mean,
Sometimes it's just when they say not interested, it's because they are busy and it's just a scheduling thing. So I would just assume that. Oh, I got you. No, I'm not here to do it myself. We come out as late as 7 to accommodate for people that work during the day and weekends. You think in the evening or weekends would work better for you? I said like 10 words. And they're going to give me either weekends or evening or the actual objection, right? Which is what I want. Cool. So that's good stuff. All right. It's 9:27. I got everybody grab a piece of paper there. And I got a pen there. Lorenzo, you got a pen and a piece of paper?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do a little recap quiz from week 1. There's 14 questions. How many each of you get right is going to equal the points up there. Another thing about the MIT MVP. Text me your personal results each day.
Yep.
And if you ran the van ride, your van numbers on the day. Okay. And it really just, and any kind of extraordinary things that happened as a manager that you think you did well, or that deserves acknowledgement, because I want to, on the next two classes, kind of discuss your guys' days. And so in real time, I can tell you how I would handle it and see what you did and acknowledge good work, right? All right. So let me pull this up. Lorenzo, when I pull this up, can you see that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. 1 second here.
Is this an open note quiz?
Yeah, if you took notes, you can use them for sure. All right. Can I change make this bigger? Anybody know? Oh, you guys can all see that, right? Here we go. I'll read them to you. So question 1. What does the garden theory help teach to new reps? What does the garden theory help teach to new reps?
Yeah, you're fine.
Number 2, in the manager acronym exercise, which of the words to the right were not included in mine? Everybody good? The options, I'll read them. Go-getter, ability, everyday, and role model. Which one was not included in mine? All right. Number 3, what is your number 1 responsibility as a van manager? And number 4, what is your number 2 responsibility as a van manager? So again, number 3 is what is your number 1 responsibility. Number 4 is what is your number 2 responsibility. Number 5, from the time you leave the office until the time you get to your first stop for break, what is essential to discuss with your team? From the time you leave the office until the time you get to your first stop for break, what is essential to discuss with your team? Number 6, what do we call the first lap of the garden theory? Number 7, how many leads are we expected to get on our first lap? It's a range. Number 8, what is the most common thing among the talk tos that we will get on the first lap? What is the most common thing among the talk tos that we will get on the first lap? Number 9, what do we call the second lap of the garden theory? And number 10 is, what is another name for the second lap? You could, it doesn't matter the order as long as you get both of the names. So number 9, what do we call the second lap of the garden theory? Number 10, what is another name for the second lap?
Do you want a picture of this for the guy from the guys?
Yeah, I'll take a picture of Lorenzo's when he's done. Number 11, how many leads are we expected to pull on the second lap? Again, it's a range. Number 12, what is crucial to make the 2-lap system work? And then I got a couple randoms in there.
Oh boy.
What company did Greg start working for out of college? See how good a listener you are.
Yeah.
You've been like every time I told it. And then 14, I was just curious to see if any of you knew this. What is the name of our roofing manufacturer? Who manufactures the shingles that our company installs?
Yes.
Lorenzo, have Zach text me a picture of that.
I'm on it.
Yep, and you guys just turn yours in right here. John and Mike, did you bring your acronyms?
I do it.
Okay, so on Monday, I'll be giving out points on the acronyms, and I'll be updating the board with the points on the quiz here. Once you guys are done, I'll quickly go over the answers. And then I'm gonna let you guys free.
Greg.
Yo.
Sorry for my handwriting ahead of time. It's a little lefty.
It's okay. No worries. All right, let's go over these answers real quick. All right, somebody call it out. What does the garden theory help teach new reps?
Wait, are we checking our own?
No.
The importance of res and weeding out the weeds. Yes.
What do you guys say? Simply put, it's the 2-lap system is the answer. The 2-lap system. All right, number 2, in the manager acronym exercise, which of the words to the right were not included in mine?
Don't remember ability.
You got it. Ability was not included. Number 3, what is your number 1 responsibility as a van manager?
Safety of team.
You got it. I'm glad you guys all got that. What's your number 2 responsibility?
Producing.
Giving them the most pitch time.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's on the list, but it's not number 2. Providing your guys enough pitch time. Number 5, from the time you get until the time you get to your first stop for break, what is essential to discuss with your team?
Gonna be hitting that day.
Yep.
First.
Right.
Prepare them.
Yeah, that's all right. Expectations. Set expectations, right? What do we call the first lap of the garden theory? Planting the seeds and pulling the weeds. That counts. Oh, by the way, when I
I put
teach,
Discovery left.
no, planting the seeds. Planting the seeds. I forgot. When I teach the garden theory, you're supposed to teach the second lap as everything is now ripe, right? Juicy. That's where that term comes from. Is because you plant the seeds in the first lap and then you reap the harvest on the second lap because everything's ripe. They're all qualified, you know. But yeah. So, how many leads are we expected on a first lap?
0 to 2.
What is the most common thing among the talk tos that we will get on the first lap?
Non-qualifiers.
Yep. What do we call the second lap of the garden theory?
Reaping the harvest.
What's the other name for it?
Money lap.
Yep. Yeah. How many leads are we expected to pull on that lap?
3 bucks.
Yep.
3 to 5.
I'll accept it because that's how I taught it before. But what is crucial to make the 2-lap system work?
Res.
Res.
Or doesn't work.
What company did I work for?
Power.
Yeah.
Who's our roofing manufacturer?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad you guys got that. Cool, guys. Any questions from any of you guys?
Was it 15? No, it's 14.
Oh, it's 14, 13 for 14.
Really good work. I know you guys are all getting it really good. And Monday we'll meet back up 8:30 a.m. I'll put this on YouTube today, and let's go get it, huh?
So yeah, million views.
What's that?
Million views on YouTube.
Right? Yeah. No, we're gonna delete it actually. Right? Remember, to text me. Good stories of good work in the field, and always continue to do that. And even acknowledgments of other people that have done good things or hard work.
Yep.
And if you ever need any advice or anything, I'm your guy. Okay. All right. Good work, guys. Thanks, Lorenzo.
Thanks, man.
I want our acronyms as well.
Yeah. I'll take your and John's acronyms.
Oh, yeah. Nicely done. All right.